Welcome everybody, it is Unstoppable Sweatsy with yet another Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition cast of game. So this time we got ourselves a 2 versus 2 supremacy match between the British and the Germans against the French and the Mexicans. Before we get started, let's look at this map, see what sorts of stuff is in store for both teams here, geographically. So, one thing about this map you'll notice is you got these nice little trade routes. It's sort of like a little bit of a basket shape, you know, it curves up around here. You can grab, really there's like one trading post for each player if they want to do it evenly, or if you want to go greedy and have one player get some resources from a stagecoach for a train. You could basically capture both of them. That can be pretty good. Also notice the little pond in the center of the map here. I guess you could put some ships in here in certain situations and attack people's buildings with them, which might be pretty smart. Well, actually, couldn't you yeah, you could actually put like a siege ship, like a monitor here, I think, and actually blow up one of these train posts on either side. So, it's kind of an interesting mechanic. I don't know if we'll see that this game, but we'll see. We'll see. Alright, let's begin. Okay, so, British. We're pretty used to this British at this point, right? They have a wide variety of different strategies, but from this particular player, what we see quite a lot is actually mercenary builds with them, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, because I remember the 3 versus 3 they did on Mesopotamia. They actually went for Jaegers and Harquebusiers, which is, you know, you don't usually think of that strategy when you think of British, but yeah, that could be pretty good. In general, when you're British, you can afford a lot of things like mercenaries just because, well, you get a lot of extra villagers, right? Every time you build one of these manor houses, you get a free settler from it, so that makes total sense how you're able to afford that much coin worth of units. I don't know if they'll go mercenaries this time, or they'll go redcoats, or longbowmen, or hussars. Boy, they get a really good roster of units too. Yeah, definitely. Could definitely list like at least 4 or 5 options for British that I would always consider, for sure. As for their ally, the Germans, I don't think I've seen IM rank Germans before, but in general, Germany, pretty good civ in terms of aggression throughout the game. Again, those free Yulons with your Age 2 cards and beyond definitely helps you rack up a lot of damage against your opponent's economy, that's for sure. Yeah. One thing that's interesting, though, is I don't see a market yet. Yeah, so maybe they're not going for a market, I guess. Yeah. I notice a lot of German players, especially in DE, love to get a market because the market gives you access to hunting dogs, which you can get pretty early, and for these settler wagons, which have the gather rate of about 2 villagers in one, hunting dogs just affects them a lot more than, say, one of these ordinary settlers. So, we usually see that, but maybe they're going for something a bit different. On the other side, though, we got the French, who are getting hunting dogs right now from their market. They got the Courrier de Bois. The Courrier de Bois is a little bit more expensive than your standard villager, but somewhat similar to a settler wagon. They do gather quicker, just not as much, right? I think for Courrier de Bois, isn't it like 10% more or something? Like an economic theory attached to it. I know in Wars of Liberty for the French marriage, for both the Habsburgs and the British, it was like a 10% increase in gather rate, so maybe, without looking at the game's code, I think it's about 10% there. You could tell me in the comments if I got the math wrong, but that's what I think. So yeah, definitely, again, hunting dogs early on through a market. These Courrier de Bois are going to definitely benefit more than your standard settler from it. And then finally we got Mexico here, Mexico, where, they're also getting a market. Yeah, but they're already going up to Age 2 through Durango, so this is a pretty normal time to get a market really for any civ, because while you're waiting to age up and you don't have to keep the food income for that villager queue anymore, you can afford to do some mining, some wood shopping, and maybe get some technologies like hunting dogs, placer mines, you know, technologies you might not decide to get early on in Age 1, because finally you got some freedom to gather other things than food, really. What they're getting actually is frontiersmen. interesting. This is actually going to upgrade the villager stats to make them more defensible against, say, the Uwans from the German player. I think it's about time we check out the decks as well and figure out what they're doing exactly. So, Mexico's deck is called Mexico. Okay, so what we got? We got 5 settlers, you got the Hacienda and 2 settler card. This is always a really good one to get. But interestingly enough, it looks like they actually started out with Furrier, which improves the hunting and the berry bush gathering. So they were going really big on food income here. Observers, Saltatierradores, a strong one near natural resources. Ah, interesting. So maybe we're going to see some skirmisher play today. We see guerrilla tactics. Yeah, this is a Saltatierradore card. Soldado upgrade. So maybe Soldados and Saltatierradores from the Mexico today. They're getting a barrack, so they'll definitely be able to queue those skirms and Soldados up if they want to. Looks like the Germany and British team is very fruitful in terms of grabbing their trade real quickly. Hopefully this team grabs theirs as well. It's just a great boost to have. Oh, France is getting the steel traps now. Great, yeah. Normally in French builds, you try to get hunting dogs and placer mines and then steel traps right in that transition period, so they're definitely playing a textbook style France, I would say. In terms of deck, what sorts of stuff might we see? So, lots of crates, unit options. We do got the standard fast fortress cards for France in terms of the 8 skirms, the cuirassier, the dragoon, and the falconets. But we do have some eco in the form of royal mint and refrigeration, which is always nice. We got lots of upgrade cards, cav combat, cav hit points, Senegalese rifleman, which is the same as team ranged infantry, and like, you know, I wouldn't say Wars of Liberty anymore because that card actually got removed from, but Asian Dynasties. We got Wilderness Warfare, which helps with the skirmisher hit points. Also Advanced Arsenal. So, yeah, they're definitely well-rounded in this deck. They're going to begin with Hussar attacks. I see a group of 4 Hussars here going in for some raiding. It's kind of funny because Germany sort of does the same thing with their free Uwans from their cards, so maybe if the Uwans end up in the wrong place at the wrong time, they might end up getting destroyed by these Hussars, since, you know, one-on-one, a Hussar is going to completely destroy a Uwan just because of their higher HP. You know, the only thing the Uwan's really sporing over the Hussar is like 7 extra damage. You know, that's not going to make a difference when you got this much HP for a cav unit. Nah, Hussars beat Uwans in 1-to-1 combat easily. Now, if you're outnumbered by Uwans, that's a different story. They can sometimes gang up on them if there's like 10 or maybe more of them. So, it always depends on numbers, as you know. How about the, like, enemy team? Like, what's like the, oh, Saltatierradores, I picked it. They're definitely doing that. For this team, the British. So the British are just starting to get the steel traps now. And like a good friend, they are starting to get their stagecoach now, so both players will be able to deliver actual resources from their trading posts on this route. Ah, so we see wool staple port. So it looks like, yep, this is looking like another livestock pen build for British. Yeah, I remember from both the deathmatch game and I think maybe the British mercenary game, this player liked to use the livestock pen to get lots of sheep. And with that sheep, they were able to basically get all the food they could ever ask for, and then they could focus more on the coin for the mercenaries. So, I'm not sure exactly. Are they going mercenaries this game or what? Well, from the looks of it, this is looking like a very economical deck. Yeah, I mean, we got fulling mills, keep villages gathered from livestock much faster. We got the royal mint. Oh, even all the estate technologies, yeah. So this is looking really boomy. Really, really boomy. We got the 7 sheep and 1 homestead wagon. That's probably where that livestock pen came from. Got ranching to add cows. Yeah, they're definitely going carnivore this game, which I feel like, you know, that's going to lead to a lot of easy food production. Lots of easy food production. And this card here, the Fulling Mills, it's basically what inspired the Butcher's card for Argentina in Wars of Liberty. You know, the 300% faster gather rate from meat from herdables. It's really a powerful card because if you can manage it well and keep livestock coming in, you really don't even need hunters or farmers, right? You can literally put everything on wood and coin, and you can focus on artillery, and it's really, really powerful, you know? Yeah, it definitely helps out because you can put your livestock pens near your town center, so that way you don't have to venture out and get raided by cavalry, you know? You can just keep them close to the base then. And with this French player going in with, like, what's that, 11 hussars, 16 hussars now, you really don't want to be going for bison because all it takes is a little bit too far from the TC and every villager in that group is going to get sliced up by these hussars, you know? None of them are going to get away when you have that many of them. It's just too easy for them to swarm around your villager group and just eat them, cannibalize them. Yep. More sheep coming in. I keep seeing sheep getting queued in. That's the one thing you gotta do with livestock builds with ASIV. You gotta keep up with it. You gotta keep putting in the food investment and get it back in return for more food. You know? Yeah, unlike hunting and farming where, you know, you're just gathering something. When it comes to herdable gathering, you gotta pay a little bit of food up front and then you get like, how much for sheep? Like 200 back, I believe? Yep. And for cows, it's a little bit more. It's about, yeah, it's like a 420 food back. So yeah, gotta make sure you keep up with that. Yep. So what's Germany gonna do here? I know they have some pikemen. Oh, Mexico's going up with Coahuila, so they're not doing any revolts, unlike the other Mexicos we've seen in the past. Again, exotic hardwoods too. So they're going to improve their wood gather rate. Like what's, British are going up with the mercenary contractor. Oh, so we might see some mercenary play in the form of Harquebusiers and, Jaegers again. Yeah, that's right. So this is looking like a mercenary build. Okay. Mercenary contractor, as you know, gives you access to certain mercenaries from your tavern. Depending on what city you are, those mercenaries will be different. For British, I believe it's the Harquebusier and the Jaeger. So they're probably going to go for mercenary skirms and mercenary light caps. Yep, this is not looking good, folks. How many pikemen? Not enough pikemen to deal with hussars, you know. Pikemen are a great answer to cavalry, but you need some numbers of them. If you got too few of them, the hussars just went out with, you know, they're pretty generally good attack in their HP. To really counter cavalry, you really need a good number of anti-cav. And it generally doesn't help as well that they got supporting musketeers here, which currently right now on bayonets to deal with the enemy hussars and Uhlans. So yeah, this is looking like kind of a risk here for the British and Germany team if they can't deal with it. You know, hussars are definitely good for raiding villagers, but when it comes to musketeers, they're sort of like the bread and butter unit that you mass up to siege down the buildings, actually. So you gotta be careful of that, definitely. A couple of German skirmishers here, deal with the muskets, some hussars left over for the British to help out. One war wagon, not enough when you got a mass of musketeers that big. What's up with the TC over here? I would have put that a little bit farther away because now that thing's just going to get razed to the ground. Yeah, see, yep, they were going to build on that, now they have to run. Just not enough space. Yep, we are going to get Harquebusiers from British. Combined with Dragoons because they just don't have the coin yet to go fully in with the Harquebusiers, so they're going to have to queue in some Dragoons to make up for that. Which is totally fine since the Dragoons have some nice anti-cavalry multipliers for the Hussars here. I think they're good for right now though, because the German skirmisher shipment just arrived with some free Uhlans. It's part of that whole deal, so I think for right now you can probably defend. What does the Mexico sending? They're sending soldados. Saltatores. Soldados are veteran level. These soldados, this is something you need to be careful of. They are basically a 2-pop musketeer unit. They have a lot of HP. They have a lot of damage. They've got a really good siege since they actually throw grenades instead of torches. And later on they can actually get a grenade launcher as well. So they are a very powerful unit you do not want to deal with. A very powerful weapon. The thing is though, they're more expensive as you know, and they also take up more housing space. So if you want to get a big mass of these soldados, you really gotta construct a lot of houses. And that's maybe why we saw exotic hardwoods from the Mexico player earlier, because they knew if I want to get a lot of soldados, I'm gonna have to max out to closer to my 200 pop max if I want to get those. It's GG, I won't be able to build eco fast enough. What is their eco right now? Yeah, they're not doing too well. I got it. yeah, luckily because of this livestock build from the British player, they got a lot of food, a lot of meat to eat between the sheep and the cows. Because, like I said before, fulling mills, that basically ensures you're always going to have food, because all you have to do is wait for one of these sheepies or multiple sheeps to be done fattening, and they're going to eat up that 300 food apiece really quickly. And that means you're never going to run out of food, so even if you can't afford the mercenaries that you want, you're going to at least be able to go Hussar Dragoon, which should be able to sustain you for a while. But yeah, so now we're going to add cows added in. That's going to be even better, because the cows are even cheaper than the sheep, and they have more food in them. So as long as they fatten up in time, I feel like the cows are going to provide even more food opportunity for the British than the sheep were. Oh, but watch out for this though. It looks like that French player is really going for an assault here. They just upgraded into veteran musketeers, their hussars are veteran level, and they got their falconet shipment at work. So they're going to have to do something about this. Yeah, get those dragoons, snipe the falconets. I don't think that's going to be a problem. Yep, one is already taken care of. Yep, Harquebusier really doing a lot of damage to those falconets. And now you just have to deal with the Hussar and the Musketeer problem. Hussars are going to eat through the skirmishers, unfortunately, and now you're going to have to come up with a game plan as British to help your ally out. This Germany is just not in shape right now to defend themselves. It's going to be all on you to get this French threat under control. Oh, cuirassiers as well. Oh, that's a serious threat. I mean, I think, yeah, the great thing about having a Dragoon mass like this right now is you'll be able to one-snipe these cuirassiers quite easily. Basically rendering that shipment kind of useless. So, thankfully you got the perfect unit to deal with that. If you were going like, say, longbowmen or rangers, yeah, you would probably really be afraid of those types of heavy cavalry. But when you're going like Dragoon mass like this, that's what they're made to be dealing with. And then you got the Harquebusier, not as much range as a Dragoon, but as you see, really high damage of 80 with splash. So, combine those things together and you can really deal with a lot of different unit comps. Sometimes you can even deal with skirmishers, which you normally can, but because the Harquebusier has that high damage and splash, as long as the mass is managed. Oh, wow, look at this. Harquebusiers acting as a raiding tool. The splash attack and the high damage enough to take out multiple courier de bois on the front lines. That was not good. That was a big loss of economy. A big loss of food income. That could cause some serious, well, not serious problems. I mean, they were getting a lot of food. They actually have about, what is it, close to 3K food? So, they're not going to be struggling for food for quite a while, and in fact, they got enough for industrial age, and then some, really, to make more units. So, I don't think food is a problem for them. They can afford to replenish the courier de bois numbers, I believe. And as a reaction to that, they're actually constructing a town center here to make sure that this hunting source of bison and the silver mine nearby will always be available to them. Looks like right now all that France can really do is just pop out a couple of the veteran skirmishers because their coin is actually struggling quite a bit. I would probably want to move these couriers over to the silver mine, since that's a resource you're really lacking in. Your food, you're really floating right now, so you don't need to be eating meat. You need to be grabbing silver, grabbing gold, whatever sort of mining you can get done. Why are you flagging pikemen? You scared of 2 pikemen? Just stick them in the town center. That's not a problem. Just throw them in the TC. Ah, and it looks like Mexico's going for another assault with more Saltateradores. This time veteran level with the Soldados. So this is probably going to be a Soldado and Saltateradore game for Mexico at this point. All the upgrade cards in the home city reflect that, honestly. Now the question is, can you get enough Saltateradores to punish the light cab focus of the British? That's the question. Also, you gotta deal with these nasty Harquebusiers. If it wasn't for the Harquebusiers, yeah, Dragoons would be completely toast, but the Harquebusiers' splash attack is just eating these infantry alive and making it a much more even playing field. Oh, I think they're gonna beat them. Yeah, I think so. Yellow done. Yellow done. Yep, bing bada boom. Completely destroyed. Completely destroyed. So, what now? Oh wow, look at this. The British are actually grabbing this forward silver mine here, past the trade route. So what now? What's the game plan? It looks like you survived the French, you survived the Mexicans. You're gonna try to go in here and cause some more trouble before the wall comes up from the French. Yeah. Yep, take out the Courrier de Bois. Maybe you can get some on the mine, but I think they see where you are now, so I don't think you're going to get anyone over there. Yeah, just keep their skirm numbers down. Because if they get too many skirms, then yeah, maybe that could become a problem, but if you can keep their numbers low, skirmies, not a problem for the Harquebusiers. Harquebusiers will just dish out way too much damage for them to be effective. These Harquebusiers are doing a lot of work here. You know, they're taking units you would normally be afraid of with Dragoons and just disintegrating them. Yeah, and now these pikemen from the Germans are actually a serious threat because they're going to offer their high 32 siege to start taking out these barracks and possibly even the town center as well. So yeah, these pikemen are really a serious threat here if you can't deal with them. Looks like that France is ready for industrial age. Are they going to take it? What would they get? So they could get their factories up, they could get some heavy cannons down. Well, at this point, just get a massive, like, skirms, I would say. Like, get like 100, 150 skirms. Then when you got enough skirms and you know they're going to stay alive, try to upgrade them to Voltaguire then, in Age 4. Then they'll definitely be ready to deal with these light cab units. Yep, more Soldados and Saltateradores. Look. Yeah, that you gotta be careful of your armies, man. Make sure you're always paying attention when you get that little beep 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 that you're being attacked. You need to watch that, because if you don't, you're gonna lose units for free, and that is the worst thing in the world to do. It's one thing to have a bad skirmish, it's another thing to let your units be retreating and getting shot in the back for free. Because that's just resources out the window. Iron Reich has reached the industrial age, so the Germany is in industrial age now. What are they gonna get? So they got they actually got Germantown farmers as well as the guild artisans, so they could actually go for a really good eco here if they want to. They also have the Holy Roman Army if they wanted to send some mercs. They got factories. They're looking alright since their British ally seems to know what they're doing combat-wise here. French Dragoons making short work of this German army here. Pikemen, not much of a threat to Dragoons because they just run away and shoot them. And then Uhlans, for obvious reasons, not going to do well against Dragoons either. So we're starting to see mills come up for Germany, or at least one mill. another town center. I'm just concerned for that Germany because of their lack of resources. They are going to get some horse artillery, though, with the coin and wood eco that they got. This is hard to split. I need help now, then we'll be okay. Yeah, he really does need help right now, because horse artillery alone is not going to protect you against a fully vamped up France. Because they can just go after you with hussars, dragoons. That's just not going to work. The problem with Germany is they just don't have enough resources, so they can't get like a sizable army the same way the British can. Oh, yep. Dragoons. Let's see if they can... Yep, they're targeting... what tag are these? Oh, they're heavy cavalry. Oh, yeah, because of their armor, yeah. So I guess the Harquebusiers can actually get face multipliers from Dragoons because of their heavy cavalry tag. So they're a lot similar to the Lakota rifle riders in that sense. Yeah. So maybe, yeah, it looks like at this point France is just going to go all in Dragoon. Just to deal with the Harquebusiers and go match to match with the Dragoons. But as you know, from the mercenary contractor, British also get the Jaeger, which is a skirmisher, and that will completely destroy Dragoons. You know, they got just about the same stats as Imperial Age regular skirms on top of having 40% pierce armor. So Jaeger's very hard to deal with. Yeah, it does look like that Germany is catching up, though. Again, their second mill upgrade, they're going to start sending their factories, and I think at that point they'll start to be more independent and defensible then. British putting a wall up here to stall off the Mexicans. I'd put one more wall piece here in case Mexico gets sneaky and tries to go around. Yep, put a wall over there and just cap it off. Thankfully, you got a nice big body of water here to help walling a lot. So, war wagon, horse artillery. What's going to be the final comp of that Germany player? I don't know. So, it looks like the British are going to get advanced arsenal now to get some more stats on those Jaegers with the added technologies it gives you for gunpowder infantry. Mexico making Comanche horse archers. France is going to the industrial age with all those nice resource stockpiles they have. Who will be the tycoon? So they're going to get some coin crates from that. Very nice. They're also queuing up 2 town centers of Courrier de Bois. What is their build? How many are on the... So they got about 59 of them on the field right now. So they're crawling their way towards full Ville population. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, good. Yeah, another little idle there. I don't know if there was lag or lack of attention. I don't know. Sometimes what happens is, you know that they're attacking you and you click, and then the game just lags and freezes and it doesn't end up doing the command like you want, and you end up taking losses because of it. It's like, I don't know, man. I tried to click it and it just didn't. Fighting over gold. Silver and gold. That's actually silver. It's not gold. It's coin. Kind of a stalemate at this point, right? Nobody's really making advances anymore. I think it's going to come down to if France can overpower this Germany here and move on to the British. Yeah, because it seems like Germany, at least at the time being, is like the weak link of the pack. Mexico's doing alright, France is doing alright, the British are doing alright. It's like that Germany that's the one that's trying to recover. Oh no, don't get those Comanches out of there. This is not a good fight for you. The Jaegers just ruin it. Yeah, get them out of there. Now, this is one of the best technologies that Comanches get at their settlement. Comanche trade language. It basically makes technologies cheaper in coin, which literally saves you so much coin in the end. In a 2 versus 2 or 1v1, it definitely adds up if you can make the most of it. So what did they just send? I think they just sent the technology, I believe, from their cathedral. Yep. Yep, villagers getting picked apart by the Harquebusiers again. Gotta love that raiding potential. How many self-deter doors do they have now? Like 30 of them? You're gonna need more than that, I think. Especially when you're dealing with, like, Imperial stat skirms in the form of Jaegers here. So yeah, you're gonna have to deal with that some way. Yeah, the Soldado's just doing a lot of damage. Yeah, when you do like 43 damage, that's even a threat to something with 40% pierce armor like that. Look at all the experience crates you get. Wow, that's really nice. Yep, then now they can actually get their refurbished firearms. The Soldados can get a charged grenade launcher attack now. So these Soldados, these are going to be really dangerous against the Jaegers. Because all they have to do is just form properly, and they might be able to take out a lot of the Jaegers just with that grenade launch. Right, and then they'll be able to combat pretty easily against things like the Dragoons just because of their high HP. Yep, they're already guard Soldados now, so they're really looking strong with 450 HP, 54 range attack. Now here's the grenade attack. Look at that, 43 crush with splash. Yeah, that's gonna be a serious way to punch a hole in these infantry. Aging. Yep, you're definitely aging alright. Vigilantes. The Royal Guard upgraded the Soldatores. How's our friend Germany doing? It's like, well, British is aging up. They're getting like more line of sight on their artillery with Gunner's Quadrant. More meat, more hamburger meat, more sheep, lamb meat. Meat. Look at all this meat. You're never going to worry about food after this. What are the British aging up with? They're getting the Viceroy. Group to my side, actually leave me. So is this Germany ready to go? So they got Force Arty, they got Skirms, they got War Wagon. They got a little bit of everything here. They even got Doppels. Guard Doppel soldiers. The infamous splash attack swordsman. How is this going to do against Dragoons, though? Guard Dragoons. So the Mexico is starting to break through now. I get these Soldados in range and start blasting at the Jaegers. Yeah, yep, see those grenades blowing up? That's the way you deal with the Jaegers. You gotta target it, though. You gotta aim it at the infantry. If you can do that, let the Vigilantes deal with the Dragoons and the Harks, then you're going to be in good shape. Don't aim it properly, then you're going to have more problems, and it's going to be more annoying. Is there any more Harks left here? Luckily not for Mexico. They're just in with just standard Dragoons at this point. Yeah, I think they're going to beat their way through these. Yeah, at this point, British forced to go on to Longbowmen now. Longbowmen just have really good range and fire. Really the best option against a unit like the Soldado. Do they have any, like... They don't have Yeoman or the Siege Archer, though, so these are looking like pretty dry Longbowmen. Just something to keep in mind, you know. I like always having Yeoman available because I know it gives you a bit more range with the archers. It also gives them a slight multiplier against heavy infantry. So if you had Yeoman on these Longbowmen, you'd be really doing really well against the Soldados. I mean, they're still doing good because they're a counter to it, but they could just do slightly better. Slightly better. And then combine that with Siege Archery and you can actually go on the offense with them too. only needing something like dragoons or muskets to protect them defensively. Yeah, longbowmen are pretty versatile indeed. They did a really good job at making them a very powerful, multi-purpose unit. They don't have the gunpowder unit stats of the ranger, but in terms of statistics in general, longbowmen can handle a wide multitude of tasks. And you saw that too when I would do arena matches, right? I'd always go with like longbowmen in a big mass. I could deal with infantry, certain cavalry in certain situations. You could also target artillery with them because of their range. Yeah. The thing is, even though falconets, culverins, they have pierce armor to deal with range attacks, you can certainly do a lot of damage to artillery with the longbowmen just because of their rate of fire. So it makes up for that. Sort of like when you have a mass of like archers in AoE 2, and that mass of archers ends up doing a lot of damage to a siege ram just because they're constantly firing at it and focusing on it. But if it was like, say, like 5 archers, that ram would be pretty immune. But once you had a bunch of them in and they were constantly shooting 1-1, ping, 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 pinging that one attack, then it adds up. France is getting an artillery foundry going. Are we going to see some mortars, maybe? Some culverins? Some, well, it looks like British are getting culverins. Culverin Royale. Germany getting technologies from the church. Wall HP. Ranged cavalry cackerel for the dragoons. Howitzers. Yeah, we are seeing some stuff for Germany technology-wise. How's their army? So their army is about that max of 200 pops, so they are able to sustain that now. Yeah, they got about 2 of the plantations going. They got 2 of the mills going. Did they send their... Nah, they haven't even really dug into settler wagons yet, so... This is just settler economy. If they can get the settler wagons going with guild artisans, I think that's probably going to be a really good way to deal with this. Yep, and now we're starting to see both the British and the Germans make a move onto the French front here, right up against these fortified walls. Let's see what the Mexico does, because Mexico, as I can see, that big blob over there is back in their base. Are they going to make a move on the British, or are they going to move their way here to help the ally out? Oh, so the France is actually an imperial age. Do they have resources? Yes, they do. They can afford to replenish. So, what are we going to see here? Are we going to see like imperial musketeers, imperial voltigwires? What does this mean? What does this mean? Well, we do see the Courrier de Bois running for their lives. That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign at all, actually. But what now? Oh, so the British is going to Imperial Age. Ah, that is not going to be good, because now mercenary contractor in Imperial Age, it buffs your mercenaries up by what? I believe 50%, right? 50% stats. It's like an Imperial upgrade to all of these things. These Harks are going to have a lot of damage now. So, yeah. Force artillery doing great work against these soldados. Soldados, get those grenade launchers and try to make some gains on those horse arty with them. I get that there's a bit of a malice for balance reasons against artillery, but still, the crush damage does make a difference. Yeah, the horse artillery just changing the game over there. Now, the one for the horse arty, I think, is good. But now we got the French heavy cannon shipment flanking the horse artillery and starting to make inroads into them. But now we got British culverins in the back. They're going to try to eat up the HP of these cannons before they become too big of a threat. Is this heavy cannon going to get one more shot out, or, well, unfortunately, just anyone captured. One German mortar still present. Imperial time. Yep.
Yes.
Imperial stats. 152 range damage. That's what I want to deal with. It's not even fun anymore at that point. 152 damage.
Commandment.
That's more damage than the longbowman's HP. That's like a one-shot kill. What is that? Can't. Yeah, that's not natural. It's not. Look at. Yep. France and Mexico said, "I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with that. I'm out of here. I am out of here." Yeah, Mexico run low on food because of the cost of the soldados. France, they lost their whole forward base, and it's going to take forever to recover it. Yeah, I don't even think Imperial Voltaguires are going to be enough to deal with this. Assuming you can keep supplying these Harquebusiers. Yeah. Good game, though. You know, this was a really good match, and I feel like if Germany didn't hold on as strong as they did and wall up, they were surely destined to die on the team. But they pushed through, though, which is really good. Post-game wise, British, look at that food economy. Almost 100k food compared to everybody else. Look at all the meat. The meat to eat. Sheep, cow. They were really doing good on food eco. Like, their wood slightly above average. Their coin a little more above average, but the food is where they really did well. In terms of military, you can see the casualties inflicted by Harquebusiers and Jaegers in real time. 347 kills. That is some serious stuff. I mean, well, I think Germany got some really good kills as well, just because of the horse artillery in the end there. Yeah, they were able to make up pretty quickly, so good job Germany surviving. It's not always easy dealing with that and taking that kind of pressure. I hope you enjoyed that game. You know, it was a really good one. I plan on doing many more of these, so as always, check out the channel and, you know, see my other cast of games. See you in the next one we're going to be doing. I'm signing off now from this 2 vs 2. See you later.